It's a big moment for everyone that Nirmala Sitharaman presenting her 6th Union Finance budget. 6th.
Hers is 5th.
This is her 6th.
Is it?
This is her 6th.
20,
and in fact, she's joining a very august. She's joining a very august gathering over here. You've got Murarji Desai, who's done 10, Chidambaram 9, Pranam Mukharji 8, Yashwant Sinha 7. You've got C.D. Deshmukh 7, Manmohan Singh 6. Nirmala Sitharaman previously had 5. This will now be her 6th, and then Y.B. Chavan at 5.
And I think all the others, with the exception of Murarji Desai, did not deliver 6 in a row. Right. So I think she, Manmohan Singh may well have, but this is 6 in a row. So therefore she has 6 consecutive budgets. Murarji Desai did 10 budgets, but they were spread over 2 different periods of time. You know, and the first woman finance minister of the country. So I think for Nirmala Sitharaman, the last 5 years have been an enormous reinvention.
She has etched her name in Indian history.
She has, and it shows, you know, I think if you really ask anyone 10 years ago, would Nirmala Sitharaman be defense and finance minister? People would have sort of laughed it out. But she's come out of, in that sense, from the outer.
And no missteps. See, in finance ministry, as is the case, you know, Prime Minister Modi says this often, that several of his ministers have the chapas problem. They talk too much. The moment there's a camera, they get excited and start saying things. It worries him a lot. In that sense, Rajiv Kumar has been very guarded in everything that she says, how she says it. There haven't been controversies associated with things that she's said or done and then having to backtrack or pull back on.
Yeah. Well, she's been a very careful person that way, and also, you know, taken the advice given to her by her own senior bureaucrats very seriously. And I think she goes by that. And I think on overall, you know, she's also been a bit of a quite a political fighter in the, you know, and I've heard her speeches in the Lok Sabha.
No, especially on defense during the Rafale sort of debate. And as finance minister, she took on Mr. Chidambaram recently in the last parliament session. But there's an important breaking news that's coming in. Important because, you know, for a long time we've been raising these issues of paper leaks, Rahul, across the country. The government has now decided that there will be a new public examination prevention of unfair means bill. They are bringing it next week on Monday, which will have fines of 3 lakhs to 5 lakhs and 1 year to 3 years imprisonment if there is any evidence found of paper leak in any exam, and the setting up of a high-level national technical committee to look at the way exams are conducted. Across Indian states, Rahul, and many of them, of course, are conducted at the state level, paper leaks are destroying the lives of lakhs of students who've had to wait for years before recruitment takes place. So the entire process is in a mess. Now, it's good to have a law. The challenge will be the implementation. How will you work with state governments? But I think at least it shows intent and the recognition that there is a problem. And therefore, that's a good step that the government has taken, because there is a need to ensure that these examinations are conducted in a fair and transparent manner. There's a huge problem at the moment. So good that the government has done this, and therefore on Monday again you will have something to look forward to in the parliament session. There are only 7 days left of this Lok Sabha, but the government clearly doesn't want to end the legislative business till the last date. Everyone asked me, will Mr. Modi call an early election? This was a few months ago when there was talk. I said, Mr. Modi's politics is I will use every last day available to me to do something to ensure I stay back in power.
No, that's unfair.
No, of course,
the quote he gives, if you meet him, and Amit Shah as well, जब तक सेवा करने का मौका मिले हर दिन करना. आपने उसको अपना स्पिन दे दिया to stay on in power. That's not how this is.
No, it is to continue another 5 years. I use every day in power to ensure seva is this word seva politicians use. Seva means power. We can call it seva, but power. But more significantly on Nirmala Sitharaman, just a nice last story. Many years ago, maybe 2009-10. A BJP guest, and we have these studio discussions with BJP and Congress spokespersons, dropped out, the BJP guest. So I asked the guest desk, can you find some new person? Is there anyone available? They said, sir, we've just heard of this good English-speaking guest in the BJP who's even willing to come to the studio. So it makes a huge difference when a guest is willing to come to the studio. And I said, English speaking? He said, yes, English speaking. So I said, please invite the person. She said, sir, she's a woman. Should I call? Yes, please do. Came to the studio. It was Nirmala Sitharaman. She came 15 minutes in advance. She had more time on hand in those days.
Now you have the same story about Modi and Nirmala Sitharaman both. Exactly the same story.
No, Modi's story is different. Mr. Modi's story is that our guest dropped out, Vijay Kumar Malhotra. We had only 1 hour left for the show on end, and we were desperate to find a guest. I said, there's one person I know who might even come at this last moment. I rang up Mr. Modi, and we even paid for the taxi that came from Ashoka Road to our studio then in...
But that shows hunger.
That shows hunger. Look, he actually came for a 10 o'clock show when I rang him up at 8:50. It also shows how much the world has changed since then. But there's another occasion when our OB van outside Parliament was not functioning. Mr. Modi had been invited. Because of the rain, the OB van was not functioning. It was India-Pakistan, the Musharraf meet with Prime Minister Vajpayee. Mr. Modi sat under an umbrella waiting for the OB to start functioning. You're right, it shows your appetite and your hunger to stay in the public eye at those
That's
times.
why he is where he is.
Well, look, that's why I am where I am. Nothing has changed for me.
Shows
I will still ring up someone and ask, yaar, 1 ghante mein aa jao. It may be a new face. I keep telling spokespersons, you never know what tomorrow brings. Nirmala Sitharaman is a great example for spokespersons to hold on to. You never know what tomorrow brings. She's worked hard at her job
So
and very
far,
efficient.
since independence, there have been 18 years.
You can't expect a BJP government to do an early election after learning the lesson from the Atal Vajpayee government. I mean, why would they do it?
Sure.
I mean, they would be there until the last. The economy is doing better than it was doing in the past few years. I mean, it's picked up in the post-pandemic period and the past few years. I mean, there's more to show to the electorate.
And the biggest risk to India's economy right now, according to all, whether it's you look at the WEF paper, the IMF paper, is all external geopolitical risk, which means that the India story itself is strong, and they've been through 2 massive international crises in terms of the Russia-Ukraine war, the Israel-Hamas war, the pandemic. This has been a very rough 5 years economically. So basically the government's hoping that on the back of everything they've been through, they're now on the verge of the economy taking off. 89 budgets since independence, 12 of them interim budgets.